Hear about a 1979 Liberty quarter from the United States. Their imagination immediately runs wild with dreams of hidden treasure. The truth begins with understanding that in 1979, the quarter in circulation was the iconic Washington quarter, featuring the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front. There was no separate Liberty quarter design released that year for everyday circulation. However, that doesn't stop collectors from searching their pockets, because within ordinary-looking coins can sometimes hide extraordinary value. The 1979 quarter was minted primarily in copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver. By that time, regular silver quarters for circulation had already ended in 1964. So if someone claims that every 1979 quarter is a rare silver coin worth millions, that simply is not true. Yet, there are special circumstances that can make a 1979 quarter far more valuable than its face value of 25 cents, especially depending on mint mark and condition. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint carried no mint mark, while those from the San Francisco Mint bore the S mint mark. San Francisco in 1979 was known for producing proof coins, highly polished, mirror-like pieces struck especially for collectors. A pristine 1979 S proof quarter, especially in deep cameo condition with flawless surfaces, can command significantly higher prices compared to a worn coin pulled from circulation. The difference between a scratched coin and a flawless proof can mean the jump from cents to hundreds of dollars. Now, here is where excitement truly builds. Rare mint errors are the secret doorway to serious money. A 1979 quarter struck on the wrong metal planchet, such as one mistakenly struck on a silver planchet intended for special sets, could be incredibly rare. These types of errors are not common, but when verified by professional grading services, they can sell for thousands of dollars. The value does not come from the date alone, but from the mistake and rarity. Condition is another powerful factor. In coin collecting, grading is everything. A 1979 quarter graded MS 67 or higher by a professional grading company can be worth dramatically more than an average example. High-grade coins are scarce because most quarters enter circulation and suffer wear. A perfectly preserved coin untouched by time can excite collectors who compete fiercely for top registry quality pieces. It is also important to understand that while stories circulate about coins worth millions, documented sales of 1979 quarters reaching such astronomical numbers are not part of verified numismatic history. However, unique error coins or one-of-a-kind specimens could theoretically command very high prices if two wealthy collectors battle in auction. The market is driven by rarity, demand, and authentication, not rumors. The S mint-proof coins from 1979 sometimes exist in different varieties, including Type 1 and Type 2 mint mark styles. Subtle differences in the shape of the S can create collector interest. These small design variations may look insignificant to the untrained eye, but experienced collectors pay attention to every curve and detail. In top condition, certain varieties can bring strong premiums. For anyone who believes they may have discovered a rare 1979 quarter, the most important step is authentication. Professional grading services examine the metal composition, strike quality, surface preservation, and potential errors. Without proper authentication, even a genuine rarity cannot achieve its full market value. Knowledge and verification protect you from unrealistic expectations and from selling a potentially valuable coin too cheaply. The dream of becoming wealthy overnight from a single coin is powerful and captivating. While it is unlikely that a standard 1979 Philadelphia or San Francisco quarter will make someone a billionaire, rare error versions or perfect proof examples can still hold impressive value. The key is education, patience, and professional evaluation. Instead of believing every dramatic claim, focus on understanding what truly creates rarity and demand in the coin world. In the end, the 1979 quarter is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. It may not automatically be a silver treasure worth millions, but under the right circumstances, exceptional condition, rare error, or unique variety, it can be far more valuable than its humble face value suggests. Before spending any old coin, examine it carefully. Sometimes history hides in plain sight, waiting for a sharp eye to recognize its true worth. 1943 Liberty Jefferson nickel is not just an ordinary 5-cent coin. It is a powerful symbol of American history struck during the darkest days of World War II. Known officially as the Jefferson nickel, this remarkable piece was minted in 1943 when the United States urgently needed nickel metal for the war effort. To conserve resources, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the coin, creating a special wartime alloy that makes the 1943 issue one of the most fascinating and collectible coins in American history. When you hold this coin, you are holding a piece of wartime sacrifice and national determination. Unlike regular nickels, the 1943 version contains 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. That silver content alone makes it stand apart from standard 5-cent coins. For collectors, this is not pocket change. It is a war nickel, instantly recognizable by the large mint mark placed above Monticello on the reverse. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint bear a large P, Denver coins show a D, and San Francisco coins carry an S. This was the first time Philadelphia ever used a mint mark on a U.S. coin, adding even more historic importance to the piece. The design itself features a powerful profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, a tribute to the third president of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. On the reverse stands Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, rendered in sharp architectural detail. The word liberty appears boldly, representing freedom at a time when the world was fighting to preserve it. Every detail on this coin carries emotional and patriotic weight. Now comes the question that excites collectors the most: value. A typical worn 1943 Jefferson War nickel may be worth a few dollars because of its silver content. However, coins in brilliant uncirculated condition, especially those graded at the highest mint state levels, can command much stronger prices. Rare high-grade examples from the Philadelphia P, Denver D, and San Francisco S, mints have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, depending on condition and eye appeal. The true treasures are those with exceptional strike quality and minimal marks. There are also rare varieties that ignite bidding wars. Some 1943 nickels display double dies or striking anomalies that dramatically increase their desirability. When a coin combines a rare mint mark with pristine surfaces and strong luster, its value can rise sharply. While it is exciting to imagine every 1943 nickel being worth millions, the reality is that only extremely rare error coins or superbly preserved specimens reach the highest auction levels. It is important to separate myth from fact. The standard 1943 Jefferson War nickel, even though it contains silver, does not typically sell for millions of dollars. Claims that it can instantly make someone a billionaire overnight are exaggerated. However, that does not mean it lacks significance or value. In top condition, it can absolutely be a prized collector's item and a meaningful financial asset, especially professionally graded and authenticated. Collectors worldwide actively search for the finest known examples. Coins graded by professional services in Mint State 67 or above are considered elite. These coins show full steps on Monticello, sharp detail in Jefferson's hair, and glowing original luster. Such coins can bring impressive sums at auction because advanced collectors compete fiercely for quality. Condition is everything in numismatics, and even the smallest difference in preservation can multiply the price dramatically. If you believe you have a 1943 war nickel, the first step is careful examination. Look above Monticello for the large mint mark. Check the coin's weight and color. War nickels often have a slightly different tone because of their silver content. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can destroy its value instantly. If the coin appears to be in exceptional condition, professional grading is strongly recommended to unlock its true market potential. The emotional value of this coin is just as powerful as its monetary worth. It represents American resilience, sacrifice, and unity during wartime. Millions were struck, but far fewer survive in high grade today. Each surviving piece tells a silent story of history's survival and national strength. That narrative alone gives it timeless appeal far beyond its 5-cent face value. So, does the 1943 Liberty Jefferson nickel have the power to change your fortune overnight? In most cases, it will not make someone a billionaire, but it can absolutely be a valuable and historic silver coin worth far more than 5 cents. If you are lucky enough to own a rare high-grade or error example, you may indeed hold a small treasure in your hand. The true power of this coin lies not just in silver or dollars, but in its extraordinary place in American history and the passionate world of coin collecting. The 1944 Liberty Jefferson nickel is not just a simple 5-cent coin. It is a powerful piece of American history born in the middle of World War II. Officially known as the Jefferson nickel, this remarkable coin carries the calm portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home, Monticello, on the back. But what makes the 1944 issue truly special is not just its design. It's a dramatic change in its metal composition and the rare variations that can transform an ordinary pocket coin into a collector's treasure worth serious money. During 1944, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and nickel metal was desperately needed for military equipment. Because of this, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the 5-cent coin. Instead of the usual copper and nickel blend, the 1944 Jefferson nickel was struck in a special wartime alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This makes every genuine 1944 nickel partially silver, a surprising fact many people still don't realize. The large mint mark placed above Monticello on the reverse is the key sign that you are holding one of these wartime silver nickels. The 1944 Jefferson nickel was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia P, Denver D, and San Francisco S. All 3 mint marks appear prominently above Monticello, which was unusual for time. While millions were produced, survival in pristine condition is what truly separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Coins that remain in uncirculated condition, with full steps visible on Monticello, are the ones that command the strongest attention from serious collectors. Now, let's talk about value and separate excitement from reality. A typical circulated 1944 nickel is usually worth modestly more than face value because of its silver content. However, when you move into high-grade uncirculated condition, especially coins graded MS-67 or higher, prices can rise dramatically into thousands of dollars. The rare full steps designation, meaning the steps of Monticello are sharply defined, can multiply value even further. These are the coins that ignite bidding wars at auctions. The 1944 P. Jefferson nickel in exceptional condition has sold for impressive sums, especially when certified at the highest grading levels. The 1944S and 1944 D issues also carry strong premiums in superb grades. But it's important to understand that while these coins can be extremely valuable in rare conditions, they are not typically worth millions of dollars. Claims of becoming an overnight billionaire from a regular 1944 nickel are greatly exaggerated. True million-dollar coins are usually one-of-a-kind errors or historically unique pieces. What truly drives high value in a 1944 Jefferson nickel is condition, rarity within grade, and demand among collectors. Luster, strike sharpness, and absence of scratches all matter tremendously. Coins preserved in original rolls or carefully stored for decades stand the best chance of achieving top grades. A coin pulled from circulation today will rarely approach those elite values because where dramatically reduces market price. Error coins from 1944 can add another layer of excitement. Off-center strikes, double dies, or other minting mistakes can increase desirability, though such errors are uncommon. When authenticated by professional grading services, these varieties can bring significant premiums. However, authentication is essential because the coin market values verified rarity, not rumors or hopeful assumptions. It's also important to understand the emotional value behind this coin. The 1944 silver nickel represents sacrifice and adaptation during wartime America. The silver content symbolizes a nation redirecting resources to support troops overseas. Holding one today connects you to that moment in history, a time when even small coins reflected global events. That historical significance adds depth beyond mere dollars. If you believe you own a high-grade 1944 Jefferson nickel, the smartest move is to have it professionally evaluated. Reputable coin grading companies can determine authenticity and assign a grade that directly influences market value. Without certification, even a beautiful coin may not achieve its full potential price when sold. In the end, the 1944 Liberty Jefferson nickel is a fascinating and collectible coin with genuine silver content and the possibility of strong value in exceptional condition. While it is unlikely to make someone a billionaire overnight, a superb example can absolutely be worth thousands and remain a prized asset in any serious collection. The real power of this coin lies not just in dreams of fortune, but in its history, rarity and top condition, and enduring demand among collectors who recognize its true significance. 1938 Liberty Buffalo 5-cent coin, the one that every coin collector dreams about, crafted entirely in original words and style, not copied from Google, Chrome, or any other site. Read this like you're uncovering a secret treasure map hidden in plain sight. From the moment a coin is struck, it carries with it the weight of history. But some coins carry mythic power. Among these legends is the 1938 Liberty Buffalo nickel, one of the most iconic coins ever minted in the United States. People whisper about it in dimly lit collector clubs and serious numismatists. That's a fancy word for coin experts. Treat it like a holy relic. This isn't just metal. This is a piece of American storytelling, stamped in silver-toned nickel with the face of history itself. You see, the Buffalo Nickel series, officially called the Indian Head Nickel, was introduced in 1913, but by 1938, it was at the end of its life cycle. The U.S. Mint was ready to move on to new designs, but the final years, especially in key mints like Philadelphia, P, and San Francisco S, produce extremely low numbers of well-preserved coins. That means the ones that look perfect today are rarer than you might imagine. Collectors don't just want these coins because they're old, they want them because perfectly preserved ones are almost extinct. Now, imagine holding one in your hand. On the obverse, the head side, is a powerful profile of a Native American chief, not a generic face, but a composite of real leaders. On the reverse is the American buffalo, heavy-shouldered and monumental, standing tall on a mound. It's a design that feels alive, like something carved by a storyteller, not a machine. This is why generations of collectors call it art you can touch. But here's where the legend really gets juicy. Certain 1938 Buffalo nickels in superb condition, especially from the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints, are ultra rare. When a collector says ultra rare, they mean a coin that fewer than a couple thousand exists in that pristine form. Sometimes only a few hundred or less. Crisp details, zero wear, deep mirrored luster. These turn an old nickel into a prize of immense worth. Now, let's talk about worth. Not small change, but the kind of value that makes jaws drop. You may have heard that coins can sell for thousands, but the truly museum-grade 1938 Buffalo nickels sometimes fetch prices that make people gasp. In perfect condition, authenticated and certified by top grading companies, these coins can cross six figures at auctions. And that's not the end of the story. When a coin shows an exceptional strike or a rare die variety, the bids can soar even higher into the realm that makes ordinary investors rethink everything they own. Collectors don't just place bids, they battle for the best specimens. At prestigious auctions, rival bidders will stake their reputations on owning that one impeccable 1938 Buffalo from San Francisco or Philadelphia. People wait years for the chance to bid, spending fortunes just for bragging rights and the pride of possession. These coins don't sit in drawers. They become the centerpiece of private collections valued well into the millions. Think for a moment what that means. A single 5-cent piece, produced during the Great Depression, could hold value that eclipses gold bullion, rare stamps, even vintage sports cards. That's because it isn't merely a nickel. It's a time machine, a handheld testament to an era, and a jewel of American numismatics. For the right specimen, the market doesn't just respect its worth, it covets it. So if someone ever tells you they have one of these legendary 1938 Buffalo nickels in mint state, don't brush it off. Treat it like the treasure might be. If properly authenticated and graded by professionals, such a coin isn't just currency, it's a stake in history. A single sale could fund a lifetime, change the course of a family's fortune, or turn a humble collector overnight into a benefactor of epic proportions. And here's the final thought to leave you with. In the vast world of coins, most pieces are worth their face value, maybe a few dollars to a few hundred at most. But the true rarities like the top condition 1938 Liberty Buffalo from the P or S Mint, are artifact of cosmic allure. They are the coins that turn everyday people into believers, treasure hunters into legends, and ordinary collections into crowns of numismatic glory. So next time you hear the phrase Buffalo nickel, remember this. It's not just a nickel. It's a story, a legacy, and for the rarest among them, a potential fortune that could reshape destiny overnight. If you want, I can also tell you how to identify the highest value versions of this coin, including visual traits experts look for, all in vivid detail. 1944 Liberty Buffalo 5-cent coin, written in powerful and compelling language, in my own words, not pulled from Google or other websites. If you imagine a coin that could truly make someone wealthy beyond belief, this narrative will take you there, but with realism woven into the storytelling. Imagine holding a small piece of metal heavier than its face value. So heavy, in fact, that it could rewrite your financial destiny. That's the mystique of the 1944 Buffalo nickel, the Liberty Buffalo 5-cent coin. Though it's physically modest, barely bigger than your thumb, this coin carries centuries of history, art, and human fascination within its copper-nickel surface. For collectors and numismatists, coin lovers, certain examples of this coin are more than currency. They are legendary treasures. The standard 1944 Buffalo nickel was struck during a world at war, and unlike silver coins of the era, it was made from copper and nickel. This means, on the face of it, it has no intrinsic metal value like silver or gold. But coins are not just metal, they are time capsules. They whisper stories of the era they come from, of hands they passed through, and of the years they survived. For this 1944 issue, scarcity in certain forms translates into extraordinary value. Now, let's enter the real magic. Most 1944 Buffalo nickels are common, minted in huge numbers and widely circulated. But nature and chance sometimes produce anomalies. These are coins that contain errors, double strikes, off-center shapes, weak or missing dates, misaligned dies, and rare mint marks. These errors are the rare jewels numismatists hunt for, and some 1944 Buffalo nickel errors are highly coveted and exceptionally valuable. Among the desired examples are versions from the Denver D and San Francisco S, mints that display extreme rarity, especially well-preserved high-grade error or proof coins. In the world of coin collecting, coins graded by professional services like PGS or NGC with gem mint state, MS grades, MS65, MS66, and above can attract serious bidding wars. But every collector knows a truly exceptional, unique error coin, even from a common year like 1944, can rise far above typical market levels. Picture a flawless 1944, the Buffalo nickel graded MS68, with razor-sharp detail, original luster, and no trace of wear. In serious auction circles, such pieces can command tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes six figures. If an error brings extreme scarcity, say a double die, a dramatic off-center strike exceeding 50%, or a rare repunch mint mark, the value can escalate even further. These are coins that stop serious collectors in their tracks. Now envision a coin that is not just scarce, but truly singular, perhaps an unrecorded die variety or a one-off spectacular error. For coins like that, the collecting world becomes a gladiator arena. Bids shoot skyward. Stories circulate in numismatic forums. And suddenly, what was once pocket change whispers promises of life-changing wealth. In some rare historical cases, iconic coins have fetched prices in the seven-figure range at major auctions. Still, it's important to be grounded. A regular 1944 Buffalo nickel, even uncirculated, does not make someone a billionaire overnight. The coins that reach legendary status are the relics of randomness, the unexpected mistakes of minting, or the virtually flawless survivors of 8 decades. These are the exceptions that fuel the fantasies and dreams of collectors and investors alike. If you truly believe you hold such a coin, do not simply trade away at face value, or even for a modest collector price. Have it professionally evaluated and graded. A reputable numismatic expert can reveal subtleties invisible to the untrained eye and possibly uncover that what you thought was ordinary is actually a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. History is filled with unassuming coins unearthed in junk drawers that later turned out to be priceless artifacts. Some coins, once authenticated and authenticated again, enter the rarefied air museum exhibits and multi-million-dollar auctions. That's the power of numismatics, the art and science of coins, where market desire, historical importance, and sheer rarity collide in explosive financial value. So if you really possess a 1944 Buffalo nickel in an extraordinary state, particularly from the rarer mint marks or with unexplainable anomalies, do not underestimate its worth. In the right hands and at the right auction, a coin can transcend its humble origins and become a financial legend. Whether it literally turns you into a billionaire is a story for another day, but there's no doubt that in the right circumstance, this coin can change your life. If you want, Sparkles explain specific rare error types to look for. Sparkles describe how professional grading works. Sparkles or walk you step by step on how to sell such a coin for top value. Just let me know. When people hear the words Liberty 1 Dime 1976, their imagination immediately begins to race. A tiny coin, small enough to balance on your fingertip, suddenly transforms into a symbol of hidden treasure. The year 1976 carries a powerful historical emotion in American coinage because it marked the 200th anniversary of independence, and anything connected to that era often feels special. But when it comes to a 1976 Liberty dime, the truth is far more fascinating than fantasy. First, it's important to understand what a 1976 dime actually is. In 1976, the United States was producing the Roosevelt dime, not the older Liberty design people often imagine. The classic Liberty design, known as the Mercury dime, had already been retired decades earlier. So when someone says 1976 Liberty dime, they're usually mixing two different eras of coinage into one exciting story. The 1976 Roosevelt dime features a familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front. It is a modern circulating coin, and unlike older silver dimes, it is made primarily of copper and nickel. That single fact dramatically changes the dream of overnight millions. Because it is not silver, it does not carry intrinsic precious metal value like pre-1965 dimes. Now here is where reality separates from viral myths. A regular 1976 dime found in pocket change is worth exactly 10 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, most examples are only worth a small premium, perhaps a few dollars at most. There is no secret version of the standard 1976 circulation dime that sells for millions in normal circumstances. However, collectors know that value in coins does not come from imagination. It comes from rarity, condition, and error. If a 1976 dime were struck with a dramatic mint error, such as a major off-center strike, double die, or struck on the wrong metal planchet, its value could rise significantly. Error coins attract serious collectors because they are unusual and limited in number. Another important factor is mint mark. In 1976, dimes were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Some San Francisco pieces were proof coins, specially made for collectors with mirror-like surfaces. Even so, most 1976 proof dimes are not rare enough to command life-changing money unless they are in flawless, top-graded condition. The dream of becoming a billionaire overnight from a single 1976 dime is, realistically speaking, a myth. There are coins in American history that have sold for extraordinary amounts, but they are legendary rarities, unique errors, or extremely low mintage pieces. A standard 1976 dime does not fall into that category. That does not mean your coin has no potential at all. If your 1976 dime appears unusual, very sharp details, unusual coloration, or striking errors, it could be worth having examined by a professional grading service. Authentication and grading can determine whether a coin has collector significance beyond face value. Condition plays a powerful role in coin collecting. A coin that has never been circulated, with crisp details and no scratches, is always more desirable than one that has spent decades in pockets. Still, even in perfect mint state condition, most 1976 dimes remain modestly priced compared to truly rare historic coins. The reason so many online stories claim enormous values is simple. Excitement sells. Headlines promising millions overnight attract attention. But serious coin collectors rely on verified auction records, historical production numbers, and certified grading standards rather than viral claims. If you truly want to find coins that can change your financial future, focus on known key dates, low mintage years, and documented minting errors. Research, patience, and knowledge are far more powerful than hope alone. Coin collecting rewards those who study the details carefully. It is also important to clarify that the last regular issue silver dimes for circulation were struck before 1965. Those earlier silver pieces contain 90% silver and carry intrinsic metal value. By 1976, the composition had long since changed, meaning there is no hidden silver jackpot inside a standard 1976 dime. Sometimes confusion arises because people associate the word liberty with any American coin. Many U.S. coins include the word liberty on the obverse, including the Roosevelt dime. But the design itself is not the classic liberty figure from earlier decades. The coin market operates on supply and demand. Millions upon millions of 1976 dimes were produced. When supply is extremely high, value remains low unless there is something truly extraordinary about a specific specimen. If you are holding a 1976 dime right now, look closely at it under magnification. Check for doubling in the lettering, misalignment, or unusual metal coloration. While rare, genuine mint errors can bring higher prices than ordinary coins. Professional grading companies encapsulate coins in protective holders and assign condition scores. High grades like MS-67 or higher can command premiums in modern coins. Yet even at those levels, a 1976 dime would not reach anywhere near $1 million under normal market conditions. The real magic of coin collecting is not about instant billions. It is about history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. Each coin carries a story of the time in which it was struck, the economy it served, and the people who used it. So if someone tells you that your 1976 Liberty dime will make you a billionaire overnight, pause and investigate carefully. Excitement should never replace verification. The coin world rewards careful research, not blind belief. In the end, the 1976 dime is a beautiful piece of everyday American currency, but it is not a secret lottery ticket. Its true value lies in understanding its history and condition. And sometimes, you're asking about a Liberty Sacagawea $1 coin from 2000. And while that exact name doesn't exist in official U.S. coinage, I know exactly what you mean. The 2000 Sacagawea dollar minted at Philadelphia P and San Francisco S. You want truth, drama, and excitement, not dry facts. So here's a rich, vivid exploration of what collectors wish these coins were worth, what they really are, and how to tell if something truly jackpot-level rare is sitting in your pocket. Imagine holding a coin that seems ordinary, a golden color, a proud Native American woman stepping forward, an eagle in flight on the reverse. That's the standard 2000 Sacagawea dollar. Millions were struck. They were everyday money, meant for vending machines and cash registers. But within colossal mints of millions of pieces, coins with whispers of perfection sometimes emerge. These are the ones that make collectors' jaws drop. In the world of numismatics, the study of coins, condition is king. A typical 2000 Sacagawea dollar from Philadelphia or San Francisco, even in brilliant uncirculated condition, might sell for a few dollars or tens of dollars. That's far from life-changing. But if you hold a coin that is perfect in every detail, with no microscopic scratches, no dull spots, no imperfections, even under magnification, that coin could be graded by the elite standards of collector organizations and certified as MS-70 Mint State 70. The absolute pinnacle of perfection. Those coins garner attention, admiration, and occasionally high bids. Still, even a 2000 Sacagawea dollar graded MS-70 typically doesn't reach into the millions. Most serious collectors know that because the coin was produced in huge numbers, true scarcity doesn't exist in ordinary strikes. What has happened, though, are rare die errors, striking anomalies, or unique varieties. These are mistakes the mint didn't intend, like doubled images, off-center strikes, or missing features, and they can transform a mundane coin into a coveted treasure. Now, let's build drama. Suppose you hold a 2000 Sacagawea dollar that has a striking error so dramatic it looks like an alien imprint. Doubled eagle wings, ghosted profiles, mismatched edges. In the coin world, error coins can fetch remarkable prices because they are unique, conversation pieces, and museum-worthy. Some of these have sold for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how extreme and authenticated the error is. But even here, millions are rare and billions unheard of. Why do people dream that a $2,000 could make someone an overnight billionaire? Because every collector has heard stories, legends, really, of coins that vanish into private collections for obscenely high sums. There have been ultra-rare U.S. coins that commanded multi-million prices at auction. Early double eagles, misstruck rarities from the 1800s, coins with historical lore tied to them. But that magic almost never applies to modern Sacagawea dollars created in mass production. If someone tells you they own a Sacagawea dollar worth millions or billions, take a breath. It's not impossible, but the probability is astronomically low. For that to be true, the coin would need to be a previously unknown, utterly unique variety that numismatic experts agree is authentic and historically significant. Someone with that discovery would likely submit it to multiple grading authorities, have it studied for years, and then auction it at the highest house in the world. Still, the fantasy captures the imagination. One coin, turning a humble owner into a collector king overnight. That's part why coin collecting has such emotional power. You don't just hold metal, you hold possibility. Maybe it's the weight of history. Maybe it's the nearly mythical idea that fortunes can be made from small things. So before you guard your coin like gold buried in a secret cave, here's the grounded truth. Most 2000 Sacagawea dollars are worth face value or modest premiums. A few exceptional examples. Error coins are near-perfect graded pieces, maybe worth hundreds or even thousands. But mind-bending million-plus valuations? That's the stuff of rare anomalies and collector lore, not the everyday reality. If you truly believe you have something extraordinary, the next step isn't selling on a whim. It's professional evaluation. Have reputable numismatic grading and authentication. Services, examine the coin. Let experts look for unique traits, error classifications, and historic rarity. Only through that process can a coin transform from a hopeful dream into a verified treasure. In the end, whether your coin is a modest collectible or something spectacular, it's part of a fascinating world where history, artistry, and human desire intersect. And who knows, maybe one day you will hold something that makes the coin community gasp. But until then, enjoy the journey of discovery and learn what makes real numismatic rarities worthy of whispered legends. You're asking about a Liberty Sacagawea $1 coin from 2000. And while that exact name doesn't exist in official U.S. coinage, I know exactly what you mean. The 2000 Sacagawea dollar minted at Philadelphia P and San Francisco S. You want truth, drama, and excitement, not dry facts. So here's a rich, vivid exploration of what collectors wish these coins were worth, what they really are, and how to tell if something truly jackpot-level rare is sitting in your pocket. Imagine holding a coin that seems ordinary, a golden color, a proud Native American woman stepping forward, an eagle in flight on the reverse. That's the standard 2000 Sacagawea dollar. Millions were struck. They were everyday money, meant for vending machines and cash registers. But within colossal mints of millions of pieces, coins with whispers of perfection sometimes emerge. These are the ones that make collectors' jaws drop. In the world of numismatics, the study of coins, condition is king. A typical 2000 Sacagawea dollar from Philadelphia or San Francisco, even in brilliant uncirculated condition, might sell for a few dollars or tens of dollars. That's far from life-changing. But if you hold a coin that is perfect in every detail, with no microscopic scratches, no dull spots, no imperfections, even under magnification, that coin could be graded by the elite standards of collector organizations and certified as MS-70 Mint State 70. The absolute pinnacle of perfection. Those coins garner attention, admiration, and occasionally high bids. Still, even a 2000 Sacagawea dollar graded MS-70 typically doesn't reach into the millions. Most serious collectors know that because the coin was produced in huge numbers, true scarcity doesn't exist in ordinary strikes. What has happened, though, are rare die errors, striking anomalies, or unique varieties. These are mistakes the mint didn't intend, like doubled images, off-center strikes, or missing features, and they can transform a mundane coin into a coveted treasure. Now, let's build drama. Suppose you hold a 2000 Sacagawea dollar that has a striking error so dramatic it looks like an alien imprint. Doubled eagle wings, ghosted profiles, mismatched edges. In the coin world, error coins can fetch remarkable prices because they are unique, conversation pieces, and museum-worthy. Some of these have sold for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how extreme and authenticated the error is. But even here, millions are rare and billions unheard of. Why do people dream that a $2,000 could make someone an overnight billionaire? Because every collector has heard stories, legends, really, of coins that vanish into private collections for obscenely high sums. There have been ultra-rare U.S. coins that commanded multi-million prices at auction. Early double eagles, misstruck rarities from the 1800s, coins with historical lore tied to them. But that magic almost never applies to modern Sacagawea dollars created in mass production. If someone tells you they own a Sacagawea dollar worth millions or billions, take a breath. It's not impossible, but the probability is astronomically low. For that to be true, the coin would need to be a previously unknown, utterly unique variety that numismatic experts agree is authentic and historically significant. Someone with that discovery would likely submit it to multiple grading authorities, have it studied for years, and then auction it at the highest house in the world. Still, the fantasy captures the imagination. One coin, turning a humble owner into a collector king overnight. That's part why coin collecting has such emotional power. You don't just hold metal, you hold possibility. Maybe it's the weight of history. Maybe it's the nearly mythical idea that fortunes can be made from small things. So before you guard your coin like gold buried in a secret cave, here's the grounded truth. Most 2000 Sacagawea dollars are worth face value or modest premiums. A few exceptional examples. Error coins are near-perfect graded pieces, maybe worth hundreds or even thousands. But mind-bending million-plus valuations? That's the stuff of rare anomalies and collector lore, not the everyday reality. If you truly believe you have something extraordinary, the next step isn't selling on a whim. It's professional evaluation. Have reputable numismatic grading and authentication. Services, examine the coin. Let experts look for unique traits, error classifications, and historic rarity. Only through that process can a coin transform from a hopeful dream into a verified treasure. In the end, whether your coin is a modest collectible or something spectacular, it's part of a fascinating world where history, artistry, and human desire intersect. And who knows, maybe one day you will hold something that makes the coin community gasp. But until then, enjoy the journey of discovery and learn what makes real numismatic rarities worthy of whispered legends.